So, welcome back to Erica's Little Welsh Garden. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is May the 3rd. Here in the UK, that means it's a bank holiday today. Bank holiday Monday. And in the UK, it usually means it's either baking hot or the weather is really dismal, like it is now. I don't know how much you can hear of the rain, but it's quite heavy rain at the moment, and this is the first time I've actually filmed a video while it's raining in the Polytunnel, so I hope you can hear me okay. I had got loads of things planned for today and I wanted to do a load of work down at my allotment, but this weather obviously is getting in the way. However, we have had quite a lot of dry weather recently, so hopefully, you know, if we have a day of really bad rain, then it will saturate the ground and then it can dry for a couple of weeks or something, fingers crossed. But anyway, I thought I'd bring you into the Polytunnel because over the weekend I've done a little bit of planting. I don't know if you can see in the background there, and I wanted to show you what I've been up to. Also, I want to do stuff in the greenhouse, but the temperature in the greenhouse is currently 9 degrees centigrade and I just don't want to open the door because it is absolutely freezing and my tomatoes are like just clinging on for dear life at the moment. Also, before I actually show you what I've planted in the Polytunnel, I want to say as well, I didn't actually release a video on Friday, and that was because I was really busy all day dismantling and bringing home a new greenhouse. So last week I saw on, we've got like a local Facebook group where people give away things for free, and there was a greenhouse on there, but looking at the pictures it looked like it was broken, it looked like it was really just for scrap, and it was offered free and a few people had said they were interested in it, and I thought, oh well, yeah, okay, it's a lot of work going and getting a greenhouse. But when I looked a couple of days later, it was still advertised for free, and they'd said as well that it was going to be going up the tip, and they said it was free, and I looked again and I realised actually all of the pieces were there. There was just a few bits of broken glass, and it did actually look like it was in really good order, apart from it was kind of had chickens roaming around inside and stuff. So I contacted the seller, or the person that was giving it away, and they said it was still available and I could go and get it. So that's what I did on Friday. I went and collected this greenhouse. I managed to dismantle it really easily. There was no parts that even needed kind of a hacksaw or anything on, and I managed to get the remaining glass home without breaking anything. So I'm so excited, and I'm not exactly sure where that greenhouse is going to go. It's a 4x6 or 6x4 foot greenhouse, so I'm thinking of it going up in my woodland somewhere because I don't want any more greenhouses in my kind of the formal garden, but I haven't decided where that's going to go yet, but I'm really excited with that. And if you've got any suggestions what I could use it for as well, let me know. It doesn't have any windows in the roof and it's quite small, so I imagine it can get baking hot, but also I imagine you could use it for heating over the winter for the things that you don't want to get too cold. So watch this space with that, but I'm pretty excited that I've managed to score another greenhouse for free. Anyway, let's go and have a look at what I've planted. So the first thing that I want to show you that I've planted in this bed here is some dwarf French beans. I really love growing dwarf French beans. I never really understood, like before, you know, what the point of dwarf French beans were, because I always thought, well, you know, you could grow a climbing French bean instead, which will give you more crops and go higher, but I really found they were amazing to grow in between my tomatoes in the Polytunnel at the allotment. So I am absolutely hooked on growing them. I've already got some of the Canadian Wonder growing from seed in the bed in my greenhouse down there, but we went to the garden centre this weekend for a little bit of a look around. I was looking for another grapevine actually, but they didn't have any. And I saw these. So these are purple teepee, and they cost £2.99 for 10 plants, and if you're a member of the gardening club you get 10% off, so they cost £2.24, and I was really pleased with that because I couldn't not buy anything. But also if I was to buy a bag of seed, it would probably cost about the same amount of money, and I can save the seeds from these when they when they grow. So I'm really pleased with that. Yeah, and I've never grown purple TP before, but I know it's quite a popular variety and it's purple, so I'm really pleased with that. And I just put those in there. Now my plan for the polytunnel is to have lots of tomatoes growing in, and I'm hoping that I can kind of grow in between that, but I just put them in here and hopefully they'll do well. So now moving on to these absolutely tiny little plants here, and these aren't actually any vegetable seedlings at all. These are perennial cottage garden plants. A couple of weeks ago now I went online and bought some trays like this of posty plug plants, and they come kind of just wrapped in a bit of paper like this, and they fit through the letterbox. And I'd bought 2 packs of perennial cottage garden plants. I actually bought 2 packs by accident, but my front garden is very big, as you know, so these actually came in the post on Saturday, and I was in such a hurry, and I thought, oh, I'll do a proper video about them and stuff, and then I realised yesterday that I didn't have time to do that. You know, it had so much going on, but they really needed to get in the ground as soon as possible. So these plug plants, I think they're really good value, but what I decided to do, while I'm still trying to work out an exact plan for my polytunnel, I will put them in here as a bit of a nursery bed. And I don't know if you can see just here, but actually you can still see the cardboard box there underneath. So they are actually very shallow and not very much soil on top of them at all. So it'll be interesting to see how they do, but I think they will definitely be able to do okay and start kind of establishing themselves quite quickly. So the collection that I got was, I've got some echinaceas in there, which are called Nectar Pink, foxgloves, which is Dalmatian mixed, Achillea cerise queen, and then I've got some delphinium, dark blue and white bee, and then coreopsis, golden joy, and rudbeckia goldsturm. Yeah, goldsturm, sorry. So I'm really pleased with what I've done so far, but I do have to start making a plan of actually what is going to be growing in here. But this is the perfect place for these to go right now. And just over here, I will show you, I've also got some other plug plants. And behind me I have some creeping phlox. Again, I picked up some of the posty plug plants. I've got both of these actually from Groupon, so I'll put a link below if you're interested in having a look at those in more detail. But yeah, I've got 20 of these creeping phlox, which in my front garden there's like rockery areas and stuff like that that get, you know, weeds growing in between and stuff. So my hope for this is that I can have these out the front, all kind of creeping down the rockeries that I've got, and it's going to look really pretty. So I've got 20 plants here, and I've got, they're in lots of 4, like the different colours. So I've got emerald cushion blue, candy stripes, red admiral, Drummond's pink, McDaniel's cushion, and then I've got Pharaoh red eye. So that'd be really interesting to see how these do. And again, these are just put down here for a little while so I can just get them growing before I actually start getting this planted up. At the beginning of the video you saw me bringing these onions into the polytunnel. Now these onions are my Boxing Day sown onions, and as you can see they're pretty big looking now, but they're starting to go yellow on the top, which is telling me that I really need to get my act together and get these put into their final growing places. Now these poor little onions have been taken all around the place. They were in my cold frame, then they spent some time in the polytunnel down at the allotment, then I built my greenhouse, so I bought them back. They've been in my greenhouse for a bit, and then they got evicted out onto the lawn, where they've stayed in this tray ever since. And they've had one seaweed feed, but now you can see that they're really kind of, they're starting to grow outside of the pot now, and it's really time that they go into their growing space. So what I've decided to do with these is I'm going to be doing 3 6-metre rows of these in the polytunnel. I've grown the onions in the polytunnel for the first time over winter at my allotment. They're almost ready to harvest now, and they are doing so amazing, including the ones that I grew from seed. So my thoughts are maybe 1 or 2 of these will go in the ground at my allotment, but then the rest of them will grow in here. It does seem a little bit kind of wasteful to grow things that can grow outside in the polytunnel, but the climate here is so wet where I live that actually if I get a really good harvest of kind of organically grown onions from my polytunnel, I will be so pleased with that. So I'm just thinking of having one row of onions at the very beginning of each, at the very front of each of my beds, so then I can have my tomatoes behind and the beans and stuff growing in between. But for now I'm just going to bring them in here so they can kind of acclimatise, hopefully kind of warm up a little bit, and then once I've definitely decided they're going at the front, I will then put them in, and then they can start growing and doing really well. People do say as well, if you're growing carrots, that if you grow your onions in between your carrots, that will kind of confuse the carrot root fly as well. So maybe I'm going to be putting some carrots in the very in the middle bed. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I thought I would bring you along and show you kind of where we are with how things are doing. So there you go, there's a little update of what I've got growing in the polytunnel at the moment, but not forgetting I have some lovely Charlotte potatoes in buckets down here. They're doing really well, they just need earthing up to the brim with some compost. And then I have over here the potato cuttings that I've grown as well, and they seem to be doing pretty well, and I'm quite excited to see how they will do. I think this polytunnel though is going to be quite humid, so as soon as the weather gets better, I think I really need to be moving these potatoes outside. I don't want them to get blight or anything, but we will see. I really hope you've enjoyed watching today's episode. If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, please do hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of all of my latest videos. As ever, YouTube has some videos up now on the screen that they think you'll like, so please go ahead and watch those, and I'll catch up with you in the next episode. Bye!